Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to Wowhead Weekly number 115. We have a lot to talk about today with Legion Assaults coming out this week, lots of hot fixes. But before I get into that, I would like to introduce my lovely co-host, Wowhead Site Manager, Perculia.
Hey everyone, so 7.2 continues to have a lot of new content such as Legion Assaults, and we even had the Mage Tower, which also created a lot of salt and complaining as well.
Speaking of salt.
So yes, this week has been about lots of different types of salt.
All sorts of salt.
Yeah, we don't have the 725 PTR yet, but there has been a lot of live news stuff. So yeah, let's talk about the assaults first, the Legion variety that is no longer part of Pathfinder.
Yeah, so Legion Assaults started this week on April 4th, and they last about 6 hours, and they spawn about every 16 hours, or on every 18 hours. So on average, you get like one a day, but it's kind of at varying times of the day. It's a really, really good source of nether shards, and you get a lot of experience if you're under level 110. And then what's even cooler is that the final boss drops these really cool transmog weapons that are similar to the ones from pre-Legion invasions. But yeah, this is no longer a requirement for Broken Isles Pathfinder Part 2.
Yeah, I think there were several reasons. So Blizzard explained it as the invasions felt too random, and people were getting stressed out because a lot of the early invasions were spawning at like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
It was not the best first impression. And the idea was that this was meant to add flavor to the achievement and not be some intentionally complex part of it. So they removed it from Pathfinder, and all that is left to do for Part 2 is you explore the Broken Shore, do Part 1, and you hit Revered with Armies of Legion Fall.
Yeah.
Which I found funny because the Nether Disruptor is really good for Armies of Legion Fall rep because killing the world bosses is like 500 rep.
Yeah.
But, you know, everyone's like, Mage Tower! And it's like, well, that didn't give anyone anything.
Yeah, that ended up being a very upsetting thing, all in all.
But yeah, so the flying tool and guide on Wowhead is updated. You know, there's been lots of changes over the last few weeks, and you can track the percentages, just like enter in your character, see what's left, click on the guide if you need to read more. And the biggest blocker right now was the Armies of Legion Fall rep because that's kind of limited by world quests that spawn, and there aren't too many. And building turn-ins, but there's only, you know, so many chests you can open and rares you can kill in a day.
Yeah.
But Darkmoon Fair buff is up for a few more days, which is 10% rep gain, so get that before you do anything with Armies of Legion Fall.
Yeah, definitely. But I don't know. I have mixed feelings on them removing Legion Assaults from Pathfinder because I kind of liked the idea of having to do them. I feel like a better solution would have been to make assaults a little more often and maybe make it so that you can only get one big reward a day.
Yeah, I could see, like, I'd be fine with them being like maybe over 12 hours or like having 2 per day, because a lot of people really liked how the pre-invasion assaults were, the pre-Legion assaults were set up.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh my god, like, why is this now at 3 a.m.? Like, can it be more frequently? So
well, yeah, and I feel like I'm constantly checking and they're never up. I feel like I've caught one the whole time. There was one that was during raid time on Tuesday, which I was really surprised that they would. I mean, a lot of people raid Tuesday night. That's a pretty common raid night.
Yeah.
And there was one assault that was up on Tuesday night, so I missed that one because I was raiding and it stopped during raid time. And then I got one yesterday, but it was during the day, or maybe not yesterday, the day before, at like 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. And then I haven't actually seen one since, which is kind of a bummer.
Like your first assault of the day is the one you get all the nether shards and stuff from. And then if other spawns on the day, you could get credit for the achievement, but you wouldn't.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I feel like they're fun to do. Like, I wanted to do another one because I was like, oh, that's cool. I got all these world quests done, and they're kind of easy and fun, and then you get to go do this scenario that's very different from anything else. So I was just, it's a bummer that people aren't able to do them as often. It just feels like Blizzard put a lot of work into something that a lot of people aren't able to enjoy right now, and I feel like instead of taking the requirement away, it would have been nice if they had buffed how often you could actually do them, or maybe make them last 12 hours.
Yeah, that was my original suggestion. I also feel that the messaging maybe could have been better at the start, because I think we had a tweet a few hours before the first one hit being like, oh, like, by the way, there'll be like 4 every 3 days, and people were like, whoa, like, what's going on? Like, I did not realize the invasions were so staggered, because everyone assumed, they're like, oh, it's a Tuesday, like, the invasion will be up along with, you know, the world boss. It's like, no, that doesn't work that way.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. Those are my thoughts, but that's okay. I mean, they'll either make them more frequently, or I mean, we've got how many weeks until Tomb of Sargeras? 11,
Yeah,
10 or 11.
Also, I mean, to be clear, like I really like the invasion. I did. I mean, I've been in the same situation where I have not had time to do a ton of them, but I liked the Azuna one, and I liked how there were little buffs around the zone, like you could free an NPC, and then the NPC would follow you around or give you a little staff up. And
I did the Azuna one as well.
Yeah.
So that's my thoughts. I'm nowhere near my flying requirements because I've just been so busy lately. And plus, like, there was the new Diablo season that came out. I don't know. It's like, it's tough, man. But my guild, we got ahead of the curve last night.
Oh, congrats. Yeah. Awesome.
We were really excited. It was crazy. I think it's because, well, we were hit by every single bug the first week. So it was awful. Yeah. We couldn't do Alisand, we couldn't do Gul'dan, we couldn't do Trillax. Like, things were really bad. But this week we went back, so it was, I feel like, the first real week that we got to try out our new, you know, everybody has more artifact abilities and stuff. And we one-shot Alisand, which is somebody who not that we struggle, but it usually takes a couple times. And we got Gul'dan. Our raid usually ends at 11:30, and we were done at 11 after killing Alisand in one pull. Nice. And then we spent less than an hour and a half on Gul'dan and got him down in our first real night of progression. So we're actually going to start Mythic, which is nuts because we've always been a very casual group this expansion. But
you know, a little fun with that.
Lots of time. Yeah, I'm excited.
Before 725 is out.
Yeah, it's funny because this is a perfect transition because when a raid was over and we were done early last night, a bunch of people went and did their Outland time walking because they needed to get that done.
Running for the week.
Speaking of Outland time walking, that is up this week, guys. So if you would like to get some freebie loots and, you know, work on your time warped badges and try to get some mounts and pets and toys and all sorts of good stuff, Outland Time Walking is up right now.
Yep. We also we like reading articles about this time period, so we have one comparing all the locations of the ever-shifting mirror, which takes you between the like the version of Outland and then the version in Draenor. Mm-hmm. So we compared all that. We have a post on the Burning Crusade dungeon attunements. If you are a newer player and you're curious why people have nostalgia, you can read about it. Yeah. And we just finished a 2-part series with Novel on the history of Draenor, you know, that actual planet. So you can read about the creation of Draenor and then the story of the rise of the Horde if you want to understand how the zones got to the way they were, and maybe how like Burning Crusade is similar to Warlords, but is also a twist on it.
Yeah. So, well, thank you so much to Lore Master Toaster for subscribing to us with Twitch Prime. We really appreciate that. I'm going to use this time to remind you guys that if you do subscribe to us using Twitch Prime with your Amazon Prime subscription, that does have to be manually renewed every month. It won't auto-renew. So that's a thing that you should know about. But what else is going on right now is Winter Arathi Basin, which I'm going to switch.
This looks so cool.
Just so you guys know, what you've been seeing on the screen right now are the transmog weapons you can get from Legion Assaults, and this is changing right now to Winter Arathi Basin screenshots. Yeah. So this is awesome. This is one of the new PvP brawl modes that came out with 7.2. It's basically Arathi Basin with heavy snow and heavy fog. There's even like cute little details like a murdered snowman.
That is the cutest detail. I really like this brawl. It was funny because I'm like going around taking pictures and everyone's fighting and I'm like, no, I need to get the picture of the snowman.
Get away from the snowman.
Yeah, it's super foggy. You can't see ahead of you. The water has ice patches, so if you jump off the lumber mill, you might hit solid ground instead of the water. Everything is snowy, and it looks really cool. I like it. It feels very cozy. I like how it looks.
Yeah, and winning the brawl also will reward you with 300 honor and an AP token, so that's cool. And there's also a special quest to participate in 3 brawls, and you get a footlocker, which that's PvP gear, right?
Yeah. Also, keep in mind that it is Season 3, so as you do, brawls and battlegrounds, you can get Season 3 PvP gear, and that gear is the recolors of the Tier 20 gear, which is, high resolution Tier 6. So yeah, you can get some kind of updated, cool-looking Tier 6 pieces from PvP a few months ahead of the PvEers.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So also, we were kind of talking about this a little bit earlier, but going back to the Mage Tower, on the Broken Shore, the Mage Tower was up from Monday through Wednesday, and people kind of rushed this one for a couple reasons. One, there was a chance that it would give you rep gain. We didn't get that.
Well, so the mobile app said that was the game. It was wrong. Like, it was just totally wrong. It's like, you will definitely get this game. And that misled a ton of people.
I didn't realize that, but that sucks.
Yeah, like in-game and on Wowhead, it's like, hey, you get this other not-so-cool buff, but the app was like, no, like, you get this rep token, so.
Yes, so we didn't get the rep token, but that's a lot of the reason that people rushed it. Also, with the Mage Tower rep, you could try out your artifact challenge, and that turned out to be incredibly difficult for pretty much everybody.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, Blizzard did kind of warn people. They were like, this is bad. Like, only a few people will get it in the first week. And people did it. I think it was because it opens up once you have 35 artifact traits. And that's pretty easy to get in the patch now because the catch-up mechanism for artifact knowledge goes up to 25. So, like, you just get, like, massive gains from, you know, like, a random token.
Yeah.
But, yeah, like, apparently, so, like, right now, it's doable if you have gear above a certain item level threshold, but you also have to play well, and having good legendaries helps. I know for some specs at this point in time, like, you need like one legendary and others have more wiggle room, but it feels like this is a way to emphasize how utility legendaries can be good, because, you know, so often I'm looking at comments and it's like, oh, I use Pride as, and like, you know, like the Roots of Shaladrasil, and like the one that heals, or ones you don't usually hear people saying they want to get you know, in a guide for rating. So,
yeah, I didn't try mine because I literally, this is a true story, I looked up like tips to do the resto one, and the top comment was like, the tank uses 0 active mitigation, the rogue stands in everything possible, the hunter's hitting the complete wrong target, and nobody is interrupting critical spells, but somehow it's the healer who is at fault. Thank you, Blizzard, for making the most convincing MMO simulator I've ever played in my life.
Yep.
And I was just like kind of slowly backed away and was like, you know what? I think I'll wait till next time to try this out. I think I'm gonna wait out on this. But based on what you're saying, it's funny because I complained about that one legendary so much, and I bet that one legendary that lets you riptide all the targets at once, I guarantee that's really good for this type of thing, because then you can have hots on everybody all at once. But I don't know. It was like, I heard that like as far as resto shamans go, it's really difficult to keep the tank up because resto shamans aren't really tank healers.
Yeah, I'm looking. We do have 2 good resto shaman ones, and they use Pride as and Roots of Shaladrasil, and they have like a certain talent set up. As I said, there's a ton of really good Wowhead guides for these. We've reached out to a lot of people to have them, if they made a video, to leave their comments on the guide pages as well. And we made sure to ask them for like the recommended legendaries and their talent setup. And if someone left a good comment and they didn't like actually like give links to things, we went back and we added in links so it would be useful, you know, to other people.
Yeah.
So yeah, we also have our guide writers working on like in-depth guides to each challenge, and some of those are up so far. But yeah, I mean, like, awesome job everyone trying to help each other out and leave comments and tips for all the specs. Like, we have pretty much every spec covered now on Wowhead, as far as a, you know, comment recommending legendary and eye level and like what to do in each phase. So that's really awesome.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm excited to try it out next time when it's a little less stressful. But after all of this, do you feel like we should have built a different building?
Yeah, I feel like we should have built the Nether Disruptor first, which is what people are now pushing towards. Well, EU is kind of wacky. So currently, at the time of filming this, NA is 58% command center, Nether Disruptor 87, and EU is 73 command center and 91 Nether Disruptor. So I feel like EU would have already been done if they didn't pour like 20% into the command center.
Yeah. So what is the benefit of the Disruptor for those who don't know?
Okay, so it's called Epic Hunter, and it unlocks world bosses who drop 890 gear. So that seems pretty good, you know, get some gear for the Mage Tower challenge. Yeah. And the world quest to kill a boss, get 500 reps. So, like, hey, that sounds pretty good for Armies of Legion fall rep. Then there is something called the Unstable Nether Portal, and these like little purple portals spawn around the Broken Shore. And you buy a disruptor for 50 nether shards, and then you summon a boss, and then he can drop dauntless gear and some other stuff.
Yeah.
And then you can also start the crafted legendary quest lines. You have to be skill level 800, and you can learn the recipe from the trainers in Stormwind or Orgrimmar, not Dalaran for some reason. And then when the Nether Disruptor is up, the you can do the quest to get one of the special legendary reagents. In that quest line, you have to like go.
Yeah, they're really expensive from the vendor.
Yeah, so one part is always 8,000 nether shards, and then the other part you have to, where is it? So like, for example, for the tailoring one, where is this in the guide? So yeah, for the tailoring one, you basically have to, I need to tell this person to highlight it. There we go. Okay, so for the tailoring one, you have to go clear the archway on mythic difficulty, clear a court of stars on mythic difficulty, and then kill Ellison on any difficulty, and you get like different threads from the final bosses, and then you combine them together, yeah, then you get the special like legendary, threads, and then you can just put that together with the other materials, which include a ton of bloods, and get a legendary, which is a BOE.
Yeah, so, I think it's nuts that those are BOE. They're going to sell for so much.
Yeah, I feel like this would have been the building to do first because it gets everyone 890 gear, and a lot of people are saying that, you have to kind of be above 890 to get the challenge, to get the challenge done. If you're an alt, that's really good for gear, plus the nether portals have bosses which can drop gear, and the legendaries are really good if you, are doing...
I feel like legendaries...
You want to go...
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go. Not just saying, like, it seems like if you need the legendary or you need the gold, that doing this quest for the legendary sounds like it would have been good to do. So. Yeah,
it feels like legendaries have been dropping like crazy since the patch.
Yeah, I wonder, I mean, they claim not to change anything, but maybe it's the bad luck protection kicking in, where before it was class-based and now it's spec-based, so, if you change specs, like your first, like your third and fourth legendary, like that should be faster.
Yeah.
Also, there's 1 out of 4 buffs, which will change. I'm pulling this up on my phone because I think the BattleNet, I think the mobile app is still wrong.
Let Perk confirm that this is wrong. It's probably wrong.
So, in addition to that buff I just talked about, there is a variable buff that's 1 of 4 different ones, and it's chosen at the time of building construction. So, you have one that is called Fate Smiles Upon You, and it's if you fail your bonus roll on the Broken Isles, there's a chance you will have your Seal of Broken Fate refunded. So basically you get an extra, crack at getting a piece of gear.
Yeah.
Yeah,
someone in my guild brought that up, and they're really excited about it.
Yeah. Blizzard has fixed their tracking, so it's now correct on the app.
That's good.
So, yay.
Yay, Blizzard.
So,
do the thing.
Yeah. So, in the future, though, the Nether Disruptor could have you could have a buff where you get an extra free Seal of Broken Fate each day. You could have a buff that gives you bonus nether shards, or you could have a buff where you can interact with objects while mounted, which I assume means things like the treasure chest or, herbs. That's so cool. The next time the Nether Disruptor is up, you could get that. And for the Mage Tower, this is kind of crazy. The buff this round is power overwhelming for artifact tokens for world quests, but the other options are 30% armies of Legion Fall rep gain, or water walking while mounted, which I don't know. That doesn't really fit in. I'm like, is there some special boss that you need to like?
It's just so random because like I can understand maybe if shamans like only could use their water walking not mounted, but you can use shaman water walking while mounted, like.
And there are the water striders. I use those all the time.
Yeah, and also there's the raft that you can get from fishing that's better than both of those things.
Yeah, so I don't know what's up with that buff, but...
It's a weird buff.
Yeah.
It feels like a throwaway buff, but like a really bad throwaway buff.
Yeah. And finally, there's the command center, which people are hitting up last. It doesn't sound as exciting. I guess... You can get bonus Legion Fall war supplies.
That's exciting a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of exciting. I guess that's like indirect rep. So yeah, it's like, why do we build a Mage Tower when the other 2 buildings had like ways for you to get more?
Well, to be fair, it's because a lot of people thought we were going to get 30% rep.
I know, but that's yeah, why. I feel like more effort would have been good for gaining extra seals.
Yeah.
Then there's Worthy Champions for legendary follower equipment. No, wait. War effort was a variable buff. It doesn't have a chance to spawn. Ignore what I just said. The command center, what it always does is you have world quests for Cathedral of Eternal Night. You have extra NPC reinforcements as you're doing world quests. And you can send your followers on additional challenge missions, and they'll have really good rewards. I don't think anyone actually did missions on the PTR, so I'm not sure what they are yet, but we will see maybe in the next week.
Yeah.
So that's what's new with buildings. I still feel like we should have built the Nether Disruptor first, though.
Yeah, you live and you learn, though. Figures. Thank you so much to FoxMolder63 for subscribing to us with Twitch Prime. We really appreciate that. We really appreciate. Oh, I'm excited about this thing. Okay, so the next thing we're talking about is this new Dark Moon Fair item, which is the Inky Black Potion. It's sold by Rona Greenteeth, and she's kind of behind the fair a little bit. Like, you kind of veer off to the right and keep going right, and you'll run into her. And she sells the Inky Black Potion, which turns the world into night mode for 2 hours. It works anywhere, including in a raid, in a city. It doesn't matter. It works anywhere. It does not persist through death, so if you die, it goes away. But it has this amazing effect that basically makes the sky super dark with stars, and it looks awesome anywhere where there's like shiny glowy things.
Yeah, it looks amazing in Halls of Valor and Vortex Pinnacle because those zones are naturally very sunny, but there's a lot of separate lighting effects. So in those zones it can be really dark, but then you have these like very bright neon accents everywhere, and it's super cool.
Yeah, it's
people
really,
also
really
share
cool.
pictures of winter Arathi Basin at night. Looks really cool because you have like the lit up areas with the snow. So I had so much fun with this toy. I was taking like
I wish it was a toy. I mean, it's not a toy, it's an item. But no, I wish it was a toy because in the way that it functions really you know what it reminds me of is there was a totem you could get in Draenor that when you put the totem down it made the sky like
the void
red.
Sky thing.
But it only worked in one zone. It didn't work everywhere. So like I kind of just wish that they would make this into a toy because right now it's super cheap. It's only like 3 gold per potion. So like people are going and buying 1,000 at a time because it's so cheap. But like it takes the bag space and
yeah, I think people were like, "Oh, I'm stocking up on Inky Black Knight until the next Dark Moon Fair," and it's like a bank vault filled.
Yeah,
like,
no, I bought a lot. I bought a lot, and we were using them. Like all of Nighthold looks amazing. Like if you go inside a Nighthold, it looks awesome. But it's really,
I should
really
take
cool.
some pictures of that.
Yeah, I took a couple of Gul'dan's room. They're not in this slideshow. This slideshow is all from Wowhead. I think you took all of these screenshots, or most.
Yeah, let's see. So currently on the Inky Black Potion page, we have 96 screenshots uploaded, and I'm probably like 75.
Yeah, because I went through all of them when I was getting pictures for this. I think there were a couple that weren't. Did you take the Dark Moon Fair one? Because that's like my favorite screenshot.
Oh yeah, I took that one. That was
the Dark Moon Fair one.
It looks so good because like everything is backlit and
it looks.
You have the posters.
Well, and plus like orange and purple are so complementary with black anyways, so they look so bright and I'm into it. But yeah, if you haven't gone and picked those up, definitely do it because they're super cheap and they're really cool and you never know when Blizzard decides you can't use them somewhere, so get them while they're hot.
Before we move on with the Dark Moon Fair, there was this interesting NPC we found. So over on the side of the fair, they added an NPC called Jay McGuire, who is apparently some sort of sound producer, tribute to someone at Blizzard. But the interesting thing was that he's in this camp with a bunch of carnies setting up, and he says that he's going to give a performance that's like more hardcore and metal than ETC. And when you look around his camp, it has all these Shadow Council banners. So there's always this conspiracy theory that the Dark Moon Fair is secretly run by the old gods because you have the tentacles and you have the blinking eyeball and like the weird vibe how people are like, oh, we serve the master. And now it's like, oh, this concert is sponsored by the Shadow Council. Like these are the same banners that you see in Twilight Highlands.
It's amazing.
Odd.
I love, there was something in the April Fool's Day notes that was supposed to be an April Fool's Day joke, but it was like, it was talking.
Oh, we didn't even talk, we didn't put in the notes, but we didn't talk about April Fool's. That was a thing.
Oh my God. Wait,
Yeah.
hold on. I think I have notes from when I did a video about this. Hang on. Like full notes of absolutely everything that was done. You just give me like 2 seconds.
Okay.
I got this. I don't know how we forgot it was April Fool's. I think it was because it was the day after our show last week.
Yeah, and then I delayed the show. I delayed posting about the show because I didn't want to be with April Fools, and I don't think I looked at the news that was before the show. So.
Hold on. I got to go back a couple versions.
I mean, we can talk about the Wowhead stuff first. I don't know if you can just
you talk about the Wowhead stuff
easily.
while I find literally everything else.
Okay, so Wowhead, as usual, does April Fool's jokes where we pretend to data mine things, and then we do a post on all the cool things we data mined. And as usual, Pepe played a major role in this. We created a Legion assault called "You Are Not Prepared," and in this assault, we have a long-anticipated reunion between Malfurion and Illidan, except something went awry. So we made this quest, and we were talking, and Illidan was like, I wish to reconcile with Malfurion, but he was asleep once again. After observing what the citizens of Azeroth enjoy receiving as gifts, I sent a small, fluffy orange creature to sit on his head and wake him up. Unfortunately, this creature, similar to the island's Murlocs, has tapped into the fell powers of the Broken Shore. I was not prepared for this. Adventurer, find Malfurion and cleanse these creatures from their fell affliction. Then I will meet with him. And we created this fake in-game cinematic of Tyrande and Illidan trying to rescue Malfurion, and then the camera pans over and Malfurion is cowering in fear on the Broken Shore, and he is surrounded by like hundreds of Illidari fell Pepes. So, Illidan's gift backfired, and instead the Pepes got empowered by the Fel and are attacking Malfurion now. And then we created a cute item where if you completed the scenario, you got an item called a Tiny Guest, and this will sit on your mount's head. So we had cute pictures of Pepe sitting on a Fel Drake and Mimiron's head and looking very stylish like he owns the mount. Then for our other joke, we did the Nomi micro holiday, and we made a dungeon journal entry for Nomi. And we also made a new model for Nomi where he's dressed up with this frying pan and chef's apron and hat, but he's wearing this very like fell green, ugly tanking armor. So he's leveled up, and he would drop the cozy fell fire and fell frying pan, which can be transmogged. And you can also do the Badly Burnt Dreams achievement where you loot 100 pieces of badly burnt food, then learn how your student lost his expert cooking skills. And this was part of the Origins of the Fire Lord micro holiday. So
this was the Nomi that she's talking about in his fell green armor in his frying pan.
Yep.
That's what he's all about. If you wanted to see what he looked like, I put all of ours back in the notes so that you could see that. And then also, guys, if you didn't see this, here is the link on Wowhead. And as far as April Fools on other stuff, Blizzard did this whole thing that was like you could purchase the old classic BattleNet to replace the Blizzard app, and it looked really like MS-DOS. It looked very old. And then they also did a BlizzCon Choose Your Own Adventure game, which was actually very clever. And
they kept it up for a really long time on the site. Like, I think when the first round, you could buy the first round of tickets for BlizzCon.
Yeah, it was up for a long time. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
It was up for like a really long time. Then for Heroes of the Storm in Korea, they had a like page where you could vote for the next Heroes of the Storm hero, and the options were a rooster, a robot, like a little robot, or Nat Pagal, which I thought was funny. There wasn't one in the U.S., which was, I think, because of Heroes 2.0. I think it would have been too
I got confused with the news, and I was like, "Oh, are these taunts real?"
Yeah, Perk and me had a serious discussion about Master Taunts, and she was like, "I think this is the joke," and I'm like, "I don't think that's a joke, Perk. I think that's serious." So I think that's why they didn't do that. In Korea, they also did a Diablo joke, which they didn't do this year, which was surprising because I did a video.
Because the new season.
Well, I did a video about all the times, not all the times, but 10 of the most like notable times that Blizzard kind of made an announcement in an April Fool's joke, and then a couple of years later it came true. And Diablo is like the most long-standing, famous, like the cow level was the April Fool's joke in 1999. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
I didn't know that either, but that's where the cow level came from. On April 1st, 1999, they released patch notes. Or no, they used to do Diablo screenshot of the week. So people who played Diablo 2 could take a screenshot in game and then email it to Blizzard, and Blizzard would feature one per week. Well, that week restarted in 1999 on April 1st. So they posted this level with cows holding axes, and they were like, "Oh, this week's best Diablo screenshot came from the secret cow level," and then everybody freaked out, and it didn't exist for a long time, but that's how it started. So I thought it was really weird that they didn't do one in the US this year, because they're the OG, man. Like, they're the most important April Fool's joke ever. But in Korea, they did a Bloodshard smartwatch, which connected to the Chatstone app, which
I thought that was cute.
I thought that was super cute, and I'm surprised that Blizzard didn't actually just make that app for, you know, the giggles.
Yeah, I'm surprised they weren't like, oh, like Gear Store, you know, in-game and Gear Store cross-promotion.
Yeah, it would have been really, really cute for them to do that. But the Chatstone app did nothing. You just could tap it forever and it did nothing, which I thought was hilarious. Then for Hearthstone in the US, there was, hold on, I can pull this up. I have these pictures on my computer. Sorry for the impromptu, but I'm glad that we can do something instead of nothing. But Hearthstone did video. And
I feel I read somewhere that actually made it into the game as like a brawl card or like an uncollectible card. Like they actually added it.
Yeah, so this is, I'll put this right over my face. Don't mind that. This is Mankirk's wife, Nadia, which costs 2 mana and is a 7/7 card. And this was one of the Hearthstone April Fool's jokes this year.
And we couldn't find her because she was in stealth.
Yeah, really cute. I thought it was really, really cute that they included that, even though I feel like unless you played WoW, you might not get that, but I think that's okay. I'm not mad about it. Then also in Korea, they did a children's educational game that was based on Hearthstone that I thought
it was like learn about art and color things in, and like learn about polite interactions by choosing which emote is proper to say.
It was really cute. And then for the World of StarCraft, they announced the Overlord announcer pack, which I actually, hold on, I can show you that as well. I have that on my computer. No reason. That's totally a normal thing to just have on your computer, but give me a second. I do have that. It is...
It's a tweet as well if we can pull that up.
I definitely do have it, though. Desktop downloads. Overlord. I don't know where it went. I'm sorry. I don't know where. Oh, wait. Official. No, that's not it. Well, I thought I had it. I guess I don't, though. Or I don't know where it is. Or it's incompatible with this program. There's so many options for what's going on. But it was like an Overlord voice announcer, which obviously Overlords do not speak English, so it was very useless. Very, very useless. And then also StarCraft released like a press release that they had gotten hacked by someone named Dark Voice. And it was a temporary game type on StarCraft that was very imbalanced. And I'm pretty sure it randomly would change your units without kind of telling you. Like you just have different units all of a sudden. Then in Korea, they did a promotion that you could learn to speak Kalani, which is the language of the Protoss, from teachers like Artanis, Alarak, and Zeratul, and that you would even get zapped by probes if you fell asleep in class, which I thought was very funny as well. And I don't know, like StarCraft is so huge in Korea that I thought, I feel like this is something people would actually want to do.
Yeah.
Like
I really liked all the Korea jokes. I felt I'm like, this is something that people would actually like.
They put a lot of effort into that. This is the Korean Hearthstone. This is the Korean Hearthstone Children's Educational screen cap if you want to see that. And then there's also, here's the, I think I have something for the Protoss as well. Protoss? Where are you? There it is. Learn Protoss. So they had like this little kind of mock classroom, and then there were all these textbooks too as well, which were really cute.
I would love to learn the WoW language, or like one of them. Like that would be cool.
Well, and it's like, you know, they made a whole language for the Warcraft movie, so like somewhere there's like a book that explains this. Just give me the book. Let me buy the book. I would be down for that. I've gone on Wowhead, not Wowhead, but there's a like Wowipedia or something like that has like a list of
like the greetings and like why are proper names and like
well, it just kind of has everything that were positive about the translations. Cool. I thought that's kind of cool. All right, and then in Overwatch was kind of disappointing for me because I definitely expected a bigger April Fool's joke than this, but the Overwatch in the US only affected PC users. It didn't affect console users at all, and it was basically whenever you typed in chat as Reinhardt in all chat, it would replace your chat with like one of Reinhardt's voice lines, so he'd be like catchphrase instead of being like good game team. Then in Korea, they had this whole post on an Overwatch travel tour.
I think that, I feel that'd be kind of practical and cool. Like, you could go to places that maybe you weren't interested in before, and then you could, learn something new. Well, I thought it was cute, though, how they're like, the NPCs will help out and the heroes will, do things
It was extra cute, too, because they made a bunch of jokes about balance. So, it would take you the same amount of time to fly from, I don't know, Sweden to Gibraltar as it would to go from London to maybe Japan. I can't remember, but the flight times were all screwed up just so that it would be fair and balanced.
Get the payload.
Yeah, and they had payloads. Yeah. It was really cute. They did a lot of work on the Korean ones, a lot. They were very in-depth. Let me see. I think I have a picture of that as well. Sorry, the previews are so tiny that it's hard to see them.
Yeah.
I don't... Oh, maybe I don't. I thought I did, but I don't see. I see Medivh's AMA. I see... This is the Heroes of the Storm one. If you guys wanted to see that, those were the heroes that people had to choose from.
I think I ran it through Google Translate, and I think the idea was that you could vote among 400 heroes and 3 each week, and it was some epic process of after a few years you'll have 1 hero remaining.
Oh my god.
And later on the page, Ganymede was present, and he was cheaping something, so it was all together really
That's amazing. Then as far as World of Warcraft, in Korea, they didn't actually have a big April Fool's for World of Warcraft. They just had, a promotion for a Medivh, AMA, essentially.
I feel like it would have been funnier if I could have translated it, because, you could type in real questions, and Medivh would say kind of funny things in response, but just the
Magic 8-Ball kind of answers?
Yeah, but it was hard, because, we didn't really understand what they were saying, but... Yeah, I think it was we found Medivh's library and asked him questions. So I was like, when does the new raid open? And he was like, something I can't translate.
Something I can't translate because I don't speak Korean.
Yeah.
But in the US, they did a full set of World of Warcraft patch notes, which were phenomenal, by the way. This year's were
they were
really,
so
really good. Really, really good. This is also, let me show you this. This is the chat stone if you guys wanted to see it. This was the app that they had in Korea. But some of my favorite things from the 7.0 fake patch notes were the new zone, the underneath, and there were a bunch of Stranger Things references. That wasn't the only one, but I thought that was really funny. They also, at some point in the patch note, they said, we're pleased to announce that the award for best opera performance goes to Westfall Story.
Yeah.
And then 3 down the row, they're like, I'm sorry, no, there's a mistake. Wicket, you guys won best opera performance, which was kind of a dig, which I thought was very funny. They also said that Winter Veil had been canceled this year, and you know what you did.
Yeah. And then, I like the about Mythic as well as holidays, because everyone's like, what is a micro holiday? Why don't I have a reward? And they're like, oh, there's the unholiday, which you create your own holiday, and there's a clean slate, and there's no holiday NPCs or decorations, and nothing to stand in the way of you and your imagination.
Yeah, they made several jokes about mini holidays not having rewards, too. There's no rewards, but you should still do it. They also had a really good one that was as part of our ongoing efforts to reduce unnecessary complexity, Herbalist will just be given gold.
I loved the Hunter one, which was new glyph added for murder of crows, a whole lot of pepes.
That's amazing.
And ducks may now be tamed as pets. And you said that this wasn't just funny, there was a backstory behind that or something with ducks?
Well, yeah. So at the World of Warcraft Q&A that I hosted at BlizzCon this year, afterwards, there was one person that we didn't get to his question because we ran out of time. So they actually took him backstage so that he could talk to Ian Hazacostas. And I filmed it.
About ducks? That's amazing.
But it got lost. But, his question was, well, okay, so they gave me a bunch of the questions beforehand, the ones from the internet and the ones that had been approved. And we tried to, prioritize which ones, were duplicates and, stuff like that. And apparently all the developers, and nobody told me, but the guys on the panel had looked at some of them first as well, and they all wanted this duck question, which was the question, why are there no ducks in World of Warcraft? And which Ian Hazacostas answered, like, there are ducks. You guys just haven't found them yet. Like, that was his answer. Was like, it's not that there aren't ducks. It's that you haven't found the ducks
I need to go find all the ducks.
Yeah, I don't actually think there are any duck NPCs at this time.
But I need the duck NPCs.
Yeah, I thought it was really funny because they had a thing in there about that question that was like, oh, we noticed there's no ducks, so now there's ducks. It was cute.
Yeah.
But my all-time favorite, no, there were two that I really liked. I don't know which one I liked better. One of them was implemented a new feature that automatically adjusts PvP stat templates for whichever given spec a popular streamer complains about on Twitter, which I thought was absolutely amazing because I feel like that's so true that like a lot of people don't even think there's a problem, and then somebody who gets a bunch of views says something and all of a sudden it's like the raging topic. So I thought that was really funny. And then of course, being that I play a resto shaman, there was a note that said shaman in ghost wolf form will now be regularly assured by nearby NPCs that they're good dogs, Brent, which if you follow We Rate Dogs on Twitter, that's like a very kind of inside joke that somebody really angrily tweeted, because if you tweet a picture of a dog to We Rate Dogs on Twitter, they'll just always be like 13 out of 10, adorable doggo, and they'll, you know, point something out about it. But some guy named Brent on Twitter got super mad one day and tweeted them, and they're like, what's the point of this Twitter if every dog is 13 out of 10? Like, is there even any bad dogs? Like, this is so biased. And he just responded like, they're all good dogs, Brent. And I just love that World of Warcraft kind of picked up on that and went with it because it made me happy. Plus, I'm a shaman that goes into Ghost Wolf. So if you want to see the whole thing, here is a link to the whole thing if you guys want to see all of the jokes. But I think we got all of them. I don't think there were any
I like the Eye of Ashara seagull mythic ability. How the new affix is flocking. It is your party will be periodically attacked by seagulls, which will immediately stun the tank and kill the healer. Also, before I move on, Sass has asked me to say that those of you in Twitch chat, we're doing a giveaway for a set of perk and panzer pins. Type the following. This is all one word. I want pins in chat to enter. And anyone is eligible to win, so it's not just the US.
As long as you're in our Twitch chat currently. If you're watching this as a VOD, I'm so sorry, but this giveaway is for people who watch us live.
I want pins, no spaces.
We do a giveaway every time we go live, so if you are watching the VOD of this and you would like to enter a giveaway in the future, come join us live at twitch.tv/wowhead at 6 p.m. Eastern Time on Fridays or 3 p.m. Pacific on Fridays, except not next Friday, which is April 14th, because Perk will be away for her birthday.
Yep. It is the 12th, but I'm still out of the California area. And I'll lease Pepe, and I will go on good adventures.
Yes. So moving on from April Fool's stuff, I'm glad we got to cover that, even though, you know, we almost didn't cover it. That was a good clutch fix, I think, at the end there. As far as site news, Wowhead now tracks Legion assaults on the front page, along with the buildings on the Broken Shores progress, and an array of other things. So you can see there's an image of that up on your screen right now. There's also guides up for all of the challenges and tips for all specs. What else, Perk?
So just a note on today in Broken Isles, you know, Blizzard keeps changing things on us, so we keep thinking of different ways we want to present the information. We know some people are asking if we can track different things on the front page, or like maybe show like how many hours until the building is moved from destroyed to under construction. And we are working on that. You know, we just wanted to get the invasion. We wanted to get the basics up and also invasions before we, you know, moved on to refining that. But we are hearing the feedback also that people want less like black space underneath the building. So we'll think if we can put some other alerts there.
Fair enough. It's always a work in progress.
Yep. And just another note, like just again, people are really awesome leaving tips for all the artifact challenges, and Kitsuki's been doing a great job getting the guide writers to write even more detailed guides to the encounter, and Squishy wrote overviews of all of the challenges. So if you feel you're not geared enough yet, but you want to just get the general sense of what the encounter does, and you want the names of the abilities versus reading about like the scary shadow thing, you can do that now on the Wowhead quest pages. Also, on Today in Broken Isles, we added the important guides related to each building. So, like if you click on the word Mage Tower, it takes you to the Mage Tower guide. And if you click on the artifact challenge, it takes you to, that's like the really important thing with the tower. And then the command center has the cathedral guide because there are the world quests for that. And then the Nether Disruptor takes you to the legendary guide because, you craft the legendaries from that building. So, yeah. On a more sad note, we don't have a April discount for the Blizzard Gear Shop yet. They messaged us saying that they wanted to give us one, but the store's been really unstable with like the crazy sale they were having, and as part of that, they like had to turn some parts of accessibility, including like the discount generator option.
Well,
so
they're like it's. I feel like it's so much worse than that because I've heard of people that like got their orders that never got charged for them.
Oh, wow.
And then I also heard about people who, like, already got their orders but got emails saying that their orders were delayed even though they already had them. So I feel like when the store was kind of backed up, some serious stuff hit the fan.
Yeah.
So I feel like we should all be patient with them right now because they're trying to get everybody super discounted merchandise.
Yep. So, yeah, that's all I basically have. In a few hours after filming this show, probably... the Mage Tower, Nether Disruptor is going to go live at some point over the weekend. Yeah. So,
do we have any questions from the audience?
We have a few. Not as many as last week, but let's see. Someone wanted to know, what do you think of the current lack of rep gains right now for Armies of Legionfall? I'm okay with this because Blizzard's made Broken Isles Part 2 a lot easier. They've now removed 2 of the 5 initial requirements, and originally it was meant to be exalted with Armies of Legionfall, and they moved it to revered. So I think that I don't think it's that bad. And I know some people are getting close to revered anyway that have been doing a lot of turn-ins. So I'm not super bothered by it. Maybe if the invasions and the original breaching the tomb requirement were still there, I'd be like, hey, this could be easier, but I don't know. I think it's okay. We're not even 2 weeks into the patch and some people are close to the reputation goal.
Yeah.
This is a good suggestion for Katsuki, actually. I know she was working on guides. I don't know if she's watching the show, but it was, can Wowhead make an in-depth guide on how to keybind? A walkthrough of some sort would be really appreciated. I think that would be a cool idea. So,
yeah.
That
could go with macros too. It could be like a whole thing on like macros and keybinds.
Yeah, we have as part of the class guides, there is a page with some macros or how to set up a weak aura on Wowhead. But we don't have anything with keybinds, so I think that would be cool to do. Someone else asked, do either of you hate the final boss of Cathedral? So I have not run
It's
it
awful.
Yet.
Yes, I hate it. You would hate it too.
I only ran it on the PTR, and when I ran it on the PTR, the second boss was ignoring the bookcases and like his frontal. It was bad. Like it took us an hour to kill the second boss. So the last boss seemed very like we one-shot the last boss.
We were fine. Yeah. We were fine. The boss that you had to get in the bubble, I don't know. We wiped a few times.
That was a third part. Yeah.
We wiped a few times. It was not fun. I know that sounds really like, I don't know. I just think of dungeons as kind of like what hardcore WoW players do these days. It's weird because I used to feel like that was kind of a casual activity with really good rewards. And now I feel very much the opposite. Like dungeons are a very like, there's 5 of you, it's serious, like everybody has to carry their own weight. Like I
get why you feel a change, especially because how it like goes into Mythic Plus, and that's considered
and I know that people like it. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying I don't do a ton of dungeons because my raid group, like I don't have a ton of time to raid. I run my guild has 2 raid groups. One of them is hardcore and they're working on botanist progression. I think they're going to get her down on Sunday. And then the other group is kind of casual, so it's people, it's like probably half the group is like running a lot of Mythic Pluses and stuff, and at the other half of the group like just kind of logs on for raid and to do their emissaries. So because we're not really pushing anything too hard, I just haven't done a ton of Mythic Pluses because it doesn't, I don't know. Yeah. It's just, it seems like something that hardcore WoW players do, and that's not where I'm at with my life right now. Like I play a lot, but casually.
Yep, if that makes sense. I hear you.
So
that's all I have for questions, really.
all right.
So
well, that's okay.
Yeah.
We started and ended at the proper time this week, so I, for one, am proud of us. But I just want to take a quick minute to thank everybody who comes and watches us live here on Twitch. We usually stream on Fridays at 3 p.m. Pacific time, 6 p.m. Eastern time, although we will not be here again on April 14th because it's Perk's birthday. Happy birthday, Perk. And she will not be here. But thank you so much to everybody who comes and watches us live and follows us here on Twitch. A big thank you to all of our subscribers, whether they're regular subscribers or Twitch Prime subscribers. We really, really appreciate it, and that directly supports the show. You can also use our emotes, which we have a Murloc and Hogger. We have a Pepe, a Rocket, and then there's one of me and one of Perk. They're really cute.
Yep.
So thank you to everybody who subscribes to us there. Thank you for watching our VODs on YouTube and subscribing to us on YouTube. We upload our VODs. Oh my gosh. We upload our VODs the same night as the podcast, and then they're featured on wowhead.com the next day. And finally, a huge thank you to all of our Wowhead Premium users. Wowhead Premium is a subscription to Wowhead that will remove all of the ads from both desktop and mobile as long as you're logged in. It also allows you to customize your Today on the Broken Isles. You get to talk in a special color when you're on the forums and in the comments. You can track quests. There's all sorts of benefits, but the biggest one is obviously no advertisements, and you're directly supporting the site. It is $1 a month or $9 if you purchase the whole year. Thank you so much to all of our Wowhead Premium users. And that is it for our show this week. So thanks again to everybody who watches the show. We are going to go. We will see you in 2 weeks. Have a great time in Azeroth, and good luck on getting your Broken Isles flying and all that good stuff. And we will see you soon, guys. Have a great weekend.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.